Hello, thank you for joining us for this webinar on new economic benefits from federal relief packages. If you are a parent of young children, if you're a young adult transitioning to independence, if you are a social worker, if you're a family support specialist, if you're somebody who works with young people in schools, you'll probably be interested in this information to help families navigate economic supports and security during this time frame of summer 2021. I'm going to turn over to introductions to our Voices for Virginia's team. I'm Emily Griffey, the Chief Policy Officer at Voices. I'm going to turn things over to Katie.
Hi everyone, my name is Katie Wisely. I'm working as a policy intern this summer with Voices, and I'm going to turn it over to Chloe.
Hi everyone, I'm Chloe Edwards. I'm a policy analyst here at Voices for Virginia's Children, and I'll pass the mic to Tiffany.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry. Hi everyone. My name is Tiffany Haynes, and I'm the Advocacy and Engagement Manager with Voices for Virginia's Children.
So if you're not familiar with Voices, we are a statewide nonprofit committing to improving and protecting Virginia's children, youth, and families. We believe every child should have equitable access to services and opportunities to thrive. For us, that means advocacy for sound policies, mobilizing communities, using data from our Kids Count Data Center, and leading with the voices of lived experience. Our goal is to close systemic gaps, prioritize racial justice, and we believe that every voice, young adults, young children, parents, have a role in shaping the future. You can find more about us at vakids.org. Our presentation today is going to cover background on federal relief packages that are aimed to improve the economic security of families. We'll provide information on what types of relief are available and specific details on how families can benefit or young adults can benefit from new types of aid. We'll provide a background on the timeline of when aid will be available, when it will begin, when it might end over the next 12-month timeframe, and what you can expect to come as we support families and young adults to transition to stability. We'll provide specific descriptions around new types of economic benefits that have been made available through federal relief packages so that you can understand more about new benefits that haven't been available to families in the past. We have included some resources to help families navigate. And finally, as our policy focus, we'll provide some recommendations and next steps about how policymakers can better support families. Voices is home to the Kids Count Data Center, where we have hundreds of indicators of child well-being in Virginia. This week, we just were part of the release with the Casey Foundation of the 2021 Kids Count Data Book. And one thing that is true and evident in our data is that childhood poverty has remained fairly stagnant over the last 10 years in Virginia. And during the pandemic, we only know that economic insecurity has increased. Our latest statistics from the pandemic show that 1 in 8 adults lacked access to health insurance coverage, 1 in 8 adults with children, and 1 in 7 felt that they didn't always have money enough to afford food and nutrition for their households. The pandemic has disproportionately impacted families of color. And so for Black and Latino households, that insecurity was even greater, with 1 in 4 Black households and 1 in 3 Latino households. We also have enjoyed hearing from families directly who are surveyed from the University of Oregon's Rapid EC project. I've done a dive into families' economic stability resulting from the pandemic. And one of their more recent studies was looking at how families were struggling with debt in terms of economic security. And they found for their families that they surveyed, 1 in 4 were currently struggling with some kind of debt, the type of debts that you see here on this list: credit card balances, utility bills, medical bills. and the average amount of debt was about $4,500. And more than half of families reported an increase in debt since the beginning of the pandemic. One of our goals for policymakers is to better support the long-term economic stability of families. And so as you learn more about the economic relief that is available to families during the pandemic, one way that we can all help is ensure that this type of relief is available to provide the long-term stability, help families get out of debt, move to economic independence, and recovery and support for their families. Next, I'm going to turn things over to Tiffany to share more about the type of federal relief that has become available.
Yes, thank you, Emily. So there were $2.2 trillion that was attached to the CARES Act, and it showed up as our first stimulus check, as well as it established our eviction protections. 2.3 trillion was delegated to the Consolidations Appropriation Act, which took place in December of 2020. So this showed up like our pandemic EBT programs, emergency broadband benefits, and the second stimulus check, which included also emergency rental assistance programs. And then more recently, the March of 2021 American Rescue Plan, which designated $1.9 trillion. And it also created changes to tax policy to improve and expand our tax credits. It also showed up as a third stimulus and more funding for emergency rental assistance. So here are some additional ways that it showed up. So as far as nutritional assistance, it showed up as pandemic EBT, free school meals for school-age children. There were utility assistance delegated to this. So there was also emergency broadband benefits, as I mentioned before, local utility relief, a local utility relief program, as well as housing assistance, so rental relief, and then also an eviction moratorium, federal moratorium on evictions. It also showed up with healthcare coverage, and tax refunds and direct cash assistance. So over the next few months, you should see cash payments beginning July 15 start to roll out. This also showed up in childcare assistance, where eligibility was expanded for families. And yeah, thank you. So who benefited from these expansions and credits and cash payments? So most of the benefits we will review are meant to provide assistance for low-income families and or other families that have suffered economic hardships as a result of the COVID pandemic. As we saw in the data from Rapid EC and the kids count, the pandemic has caused financial burdens for many families. So many of the benefits directly benefit children in these families, increasing their access to nutritious food and quality care. So additionally, some of these benefits were targeted directly at youth, particularly foster care youth and youth experiencing homelessness. So if you are a family experiencing barriers to obtain relief, or you work with families who are experiencing barriers, reach out so we can lift up these experiences and amplify these voices in making policy. And share if you find help is helping. And we want to also know if there are any barriers to that as well. We want to keep many of these policies considered to be short-term in place as we change the way systems are set up and can provide help for anyone who needs it.
Thanks, Tiffany. We hope that if you are listening to this and you're having stories, experiencing systemic barriers to receiving benefits, or if you're finding that the new benefits are able to open doors that haven't been available in the past, we want to be able to lift up your stories and experiences and have you help them shape our policy solutions that will better help families. You can reach out to Tiffany. Her email's tiffany@vakids.org, or send us a story through our website if you would like to share some more information. I'm going to go through the timeline here of when the benefits that Tiffany just covered are going to be available for families. We have some green dots of when new benefits will start, red dots of when they might end, yellow of things to watch out for. So July 1 in Virginia is the date that new laws go into effect. Our prenatal coverage for undocumented women, that will be called famous prenatal, will start. So families can begin to apply for that. Middle of July, our monthly tax credit payments will start. Well, you'll hear more about those details later from Katie. But at the end of July, we'll see some benefits end. The PEBT, the enhanced SNAP cash assistance rates, nutrition assistance rates, and the expanded eligibility for childcare will end. The federal moratorium on evictions got extended for one more month just yesterday, but they've said that the July date is the last extension on the moratorium on evictions. In September, the enhanced unemployment benefits will end, and it's our deadline to apply for the one-time financial assistance for foster care. October, we'll talk some more about filing taxes. There's a deadline if you haven't filed taxes of October 15th to begin to get your information into the IRS. Mid-December, the monthly child tax credit payments will end. We also have been benefited during the pandemic that families have not had to redetermine their eligibility for health insurance through FAMAS and Medicaid, but they will have to once the end of the public health emergency is declared, which will likely be throughout 2020. Families will need to redetermine their eligibility for those health benefits. And then when we're in 2020 and are able to file your 2021 taxes, there'll be another opportunity to receive relief through the child tax credit, through the improved EITC, and the dependent child care tax credit. So more opportunities that will come through your more typical tax relief payments into 2020. So we'll share this timeline and help you keep these steps in mind as you learn more about the benefits from Katie and Chloe in the next couple of slides. I also want to remind folks that while we're really focused on the new and enhanced benefits that are coming through federal assistance, there are existing types of benefits that can really help families and barriers that will be removed starting July 1 as well. Your portal to receive cash assistance through TANF, nutrition assistance through SNAP, health care through Medicaid or FAMAS, or utility assistance through LAHEAP is through the Common Help portal. It is available in English and Spanish. It's available on mobile website. You can apply one-stop shop here for benefits. And starting July 1, that's a barrier that has been the asset test. If you had any savings for TANF cash assistance or SNAP assistance will be removed starting July 1. So we'll have some benefits removed. Child care assistance, you also apply through the Common Help portal, and that eligibility is expanded through July 1. So please, for any existing benefits, for any things that you may have typically used in the past, go to the Common Help portal. I'm going to shift things over to Katie to talk about our new broadband benefit.
Yes, so we were super excited to let people know about this new benefit that was enacted through the Consolidated Appropriations Act, the Emergency Broadband Benefit. It provides discounts on monthly broadband services, and it also can provide a one-time benefit to be used to purchase a tablet or a laptop through a provider. Households can be eligible for this benefit if they have an income at or below 135% of the federal poverty guideline, or if they receive benefits through certain assistance programs. To receive this discount, all they have to do is receive service through a participating provider and then apply online at the FCC website. These providers that are participating can be located on the FCC website, along with the services that they can cover, which include fixed and mobile services. People should apply definitely as soon as possible, because this benefit will end either 6 months after the public health emergency is declared over, or when the fund runs out of money. So we definitely want to make sure people take advantage of this while it exists. And then next up, we have financial assistance for youth that are aging out of foster care. So through the Virginia Department of Social Services, there is a one-time cash assistance available of $1,500 to apply. Any foster care youth that are 18 to 26 years old should text Foster My Future to the phone number listed on the slide. There's also the expanded earned income tax credit that includes foster care youth regardless of their work status beginning at age 18. They can claim this credit when they file their taxes. And then the eligibility criteria for childcare assistance has also been updated thanks to HB 2206. And this will provide more families with assistance to pay for their childcare. As Emily mentioned before, the expanded eligibility does end on July 31st, 2021. And they can apply online at Common Help for this benefit, and they can locate a childcare program that is participating on the VDSS website. And now I'm going to turn it over to Chloe to talk more about other opportunities for assistance.
Thank you, Katie. So part of what Voices strives to do is acknowledge policies that do reduce some of the disparities or have biases in policy that impact certain populations disproportionately. So we're pleased that Virginia no longer will require thousands of legal immigrants to work at least 10 years in the United States. This was a policy known as 40 quarters. So while the federal government only required 5 years of work experience for immigrants to have access to Medicaid, Virginia required an additional 5 years, so equaling 10 years through this 40 quarter rule. So we're pleased that beginning April 1st, 2021, green card holders who have lived in the US for more than 5 years no longer have to provide proof of work history to qualify for Medicaid. However, once improved, income eligibility will be redetermined every 12 months. So this is something to keep in mind. And starting July 1st, in addition to 40 quarters, we've also acknowledged maternal infant mortality disparities, particularly impacting the Black population or Latino population. Starting July 1st, Virginia will offer comprehensive prenatal coverage through FAMIS for pregnant individuals who meet all other eligibility criteria, regardless of immigration status. So this means you do not need to be a United States citizen, meet immigration status requirements, or have a social security number to be eligible for FAMIS prenatal coverage, although you do need to meet the necessary income requirements. For more information, you can visit commonhelp.virginia.gov to apply. But if you have questions, coverva.org is a really good website with frequently asked questions and answers. Next slide. So with regards to PEBT, or the Pandemic Electronic Benefit Transfer, this will increase access to healthy and nutritious foods. PEBT program is a federal program that was created in the spring of 2020 to supplement school meals that students missed while schools were closed or placed on part-time attendance schedules due to the pandemic. We know that schools often do act as a point of access, serve as a point of access for resources for students, especially those that may not have food at home. So we're pleased that this benefit will continue. To be eligible for PEBT benefits, students must qualify for free or reduced price school meals under the National School Lunch Program. However, households that participate in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, and have children under the age of 6 may be eligible to receive PEBT benefits. Eligible SNAP households will begin seeing benefits distributed June 25th, and they will be added monthly. Households will also receive retroactive payments. The payments will end July 25th, so this is something to keep in mind. Free school meals. All students are eligible for free school meals at participating locations throughout the summer through the USDA's Summer Food Service Program. Through the American Rescue Plan, all students, regardless of income, are eligible for free school meals at participating schools. You can use the Summer Meals Finder on the USDA website for more information, or you can text that number that you see on the screen. The American Rescue Plan also comes with rental benefits, but there are also some local programs that are offering assistance. The Virginia Relief Program is designed to support and ensure housing stability across the Commonwealth during the pandemic. Depending on availability of funds and household need, this program may provide financial assistance for rent payments for eligible households. If you need assistance, it's recommended that you apply as soon as possible, or you can also have your landlord apply. If you live in Chesterfield or Fairfax County, note that they do have their own assistance program that you can apply directly to. You must have a valid lease agreement and currently occupy the unit. You must have a total rent payments 150% or less of the fair market rate. Your household total gross income must be 80% of or less of the area median income. You must have experienced financial loss due to the pandemic and must be ineligible for other forms of assistance. I know this is a lot to keep track of, but you can check your eligibility online using the link pictured. And now I'm going to pass the mic back to Katie.
Hi, everyone. So just so everybody knows, you can still claim your stimulus payments if you have not received them. If you're eligible, they can still claim a stimulus check by filing their 2020 tax return. And even though like the traditional deadline has passed, people still can file their taxes up to October 15th, 2021 to receive those payments. And we recommend going to getyourrefund.org to get virtual assistance filing and get those stimulus checks. Next, we do want to acknowledge that it is very difficult to receive benefits, and some of these have a lot of hoops to jump through. It can be really difficult to navigate these. So we wanted to provide links and phone numbers for all of the places that you should contact if you're having trouble receiving a specific benefit for the ones that we have covered so far. And next up, we are going to talk about changes to the tax policies that were created with the American Rescue Plan. So first we have the earned income tax credit. As I mentioned earlier, it's been expanded and improved temporarily. So we have now childless workers age 19 and up. And it also eliminated the upper age limit. So it has really greatly expanded who is eligible for the EITC. And as mentioned previously, foster care youth and youth who have experienced homelessness can claim the credit at age 18, regardless of their work or educational status. And to claim the EITC, all you have to do is file your 2021 taxes. And the EITC varies based on income and family size. So people should go to an EITC calculator to estimate how much their credit will be. Next up, we do have the expanded child and dependent care tax credit. The credit was increased to $4,000 for one child and $8,000 for two or more. And it reimburses families for up to half of childcare expenses for children under 13. And the credit is also now fully refundable for the 2021 tax year. Next up, we do have the improved child tax credit, which I know a lot of people have been talking about this week with raising awareness and everything. So it was increased to $3,600 for children under 6 and $3,000 for children 6 to 17, and it is now also fully refundable. One really important note on the tax credit is that families will start receiving monthly prepayments on July 15th through to December 15th for the first half of the credit. That's something pretty new. that hasn't been done before with this particular credit. So families can opt out of the monthly payments if they prefer to receive the credit in full when they file their tax return. And then these payments will be direct deposited or mailed to families around the 15th of every month. So with the child tax credit, it is really important to acknowledge all of the different portals that exist to help families navigate these benefits, sign up for them. So they have recently published the non-filer sign-up tool that allows eligible people who have not filed their taxes in 2019 or 2020 to provide their information to receive the advanced monthly payments for the credits. This portal is now live on the IRS website, and another portal is coming soon that will allow families to update any information that has changed since they last filed their taxes, like if they've had another child or if they need to update their address. And they also just recently put up a portal to opt out of monthly allowances. And it is really important to note that all of these tax credits are temporary, and all of the changes to the tax credits are temporary and are currently only available for 2021. So with all these new tax credits, people probably are going to need some assistance filing. So there are some great resources available that we want to plug for any families that need help. The IRS Free File online is available for people who make less than $72,000 a year to file their taxes on a site like TurboTax for free. There are sometimes charges for state filing through this resource. We also have the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, which offers assistance to people making less than $57,000 a year. And it is really important right now to check on Avita sites. They may not be open in their regular capacity due to the pandemic. So it's important to understand if they're currently in person or if they're fully online right now. But typically they do offer those services in person. We also have getyourrefund.org, which is available for people with incomes below $66,000. And the Low Income Taxpayer Clinic, which helps people resolve disputes with the IRS. It also provides information about taxpayer rights and responsibilities in multiple languages. Their services are typically provided for free or for a small fee. And then there are some free tax prep services through local community action agencies and United Ways. Now I'm going to pass it over to Emily.
Thanks. And we want to specifically provide some information here for families who have mixed immigration status backgrounds and may be hesitant to take advantage of some of these benefits, or particularly some of the tax benefits. For all families with mixed immigration status, it is in most cases true that if the child has a Social Security number, that you can apply for benefits on their behalf. So that could be childcare, SNAP, other types of benefits. There are different rules now for families with mixed immigration status. According to some different federal relief packages, there were different rules for each stimulus check. So we've noted here that the third stimulus check, any dependent with a Social Security number can claim the check for the third stimulus. So if you have not yet claimed the stimulus for a child with a Social Security number, you can go back and to those Get My Refund, the stimulus payment websites to do that. For the child tax credit, the new enhanced credit that is coming, a parent with an I-10 and an ITIN number can claim the credit if their child has a Social Security number. So if you had not yet filed, then your child has a Social Security number, it will unlock those monthly payments for you to use the portal for the non-filers portal, or to update your information through childtaxcredit.gov. The exception is the earned income tax credit, which you must have a Social Security number to claim. Additionally, we know that many families have been hesitant to participate in public benefit because of the threat of public charge, changing access to immigration statuses or permanent statuses. And the Biden administration has canceled any of the proposed changes to the public charge and immigration status that were proposed by the Trump administration. So families can have a sigh of relief that additional benefits will not have a impact on the public charge any longer. Next, there are a lot of questions, I'm sure, because there's a lot of new benefits. And so we are learning more about benefits on a daily basis. We learned more about the eviction moratoriums this week, the new information about how PEBT might help families with children under 6 is still rolling out. These tax portals are still coming live and coming online. So there are a lot of questions and some things that remain to be unanswered. We know that even though we pulled up 3 questions here, there's probably 30 in your head. And if you have specific questions, please reach out and we can try to help find some more specific information. The new enhanced benefits will not affect your tax liability, and they also are not affecting your eligibility for other benefits, since the stimulus, the child tax credits are considered one-time payments rather than ongoing income benefits. They do not affect your eligibility for other programs. We know that the child tax credits and the improvements there are going to be really beneficial to families who already have a linked bank account with the IRS, where they already received their tax credits. And so families that do have the linked bank account, the direct deposit set up, are going to get those monthly payments right into their bank accounts. If they do not, then the IRS has your appropriate address on file, you will get a check in the mail. So look for upcoming checks from the US Treasury, we'll probably say on the outside, that would have your monthly child tax allowance, child tax credit. If you don't have a current address on file, if you want to change those information, please go to those portals, childtaxcredit.gov. We'll have the link to the 3 different portals that are available for the IRS page as well. One common question we've heard from families is shared custody arrangements. And so we know that this will impact families that claim a dependent one year or another. Whoever is claiming the dependent on the 2021 taxes will receive the credit. So it could be something to update on the portal as well once more information goes live. If the different caregiver claims the child is a dependent on the 2020 tax, it should be updated before the monthly allowances are distributed. So there may be some arrangements to work out between shared caregivers. We also want to point to resources that currently exist and are really helpful to help families understand how different benefits can be impacted and how to navigate these different systems. Our friends at the Virginia Poverty Law Center have created a SNAP calculator available on their website that will help you better understand how much food assistance might be coming to help pay for food and nutrition assistance for your family. So do check that out. We are experiencing some fluctuations in the food assistance as we pointed out, where enhanced SNAP benefits will end in the coming months. PEBT might be available as a few month only allotment for the next couple of months. So we know families may experience increased food needs or changes in the allotments that they're expected to receive. CoverVA.org or CubraVA.org is also available in English and Spanish and can help families navigate different options for health insurance and FAMOUS for their families, and will include information about the new FAMOUS prenatal category for undocumented pregnant women. You can get assistance through the chat, and there's some call center assistance to help families navigate these benefits in particular. But what we know is that, as we've shared today, there are a number of benefits available to families. They're often siloed within different agencies and not aligned together to really help provide an overall picture of economic stability, support, and security for families. So in the long run, what we want our policymakers to be able to do is to provide the help and not put up hoops for families, to help provide assistance wherever it's needed. And our focus in the next couple of months will be both at the federal level in Congress and at the Virginia General Assembly when they return for a special session in early August. One of the other pieces of the puzzle moving this week is those bipartisan negotiations in Congress around some economic relief packages. The pieces that we're looking for is to make those the child tax credit enhancements, the enhanced amount, the refundable credit, the monthly allowances permanent. That is part of the proposed American Families Plan, and we'll be looking for Congress to take action on the additional pieces of the American Families Plan later this summer, as well as hopefully provide additional child care relief to families and the industry. So as bills begin to move through Congress, we'll pull out specific pieces of the puzzle. Those are things that we're looking for, particularly from the federal level. Next, as the Virginia General Assembly reconvenes for a special session in August, they will be looking at, in particular, the $4 billion that is coming to Virginia to use over the next few years to provide our response to the pandemic and help stabilize families during this time. From the American Rescue Plan, we really want to prioritize these economic security and stability needs for families. What that means is the state should provide some additional assistance to help families file their taxes and outreach efforts to ensure that they know, families and young adults know about these enhanced tax credits available to them in 2022. We can stand up more of those VITA sites, the tax prep and assistance sites, through some additional funding to help families navigate these systems and better understand their rights. To really ensure that we are reaching out to all families who need this assistance, we'll also have to do a better job of helping families navigate who are non-native English speakers and need to invest in translation and interpretation services. We hope that many folks listening to this are folks who do help families navigate that may be non-native English speakers. And we really want to hear from you. Each system, each website, each phone number you can call has different options for language translation and interpretation. And so we already know that that's going to be a barrier for a number of families. We need to lift up the state support to help ensure that we can help families navigate these types of assistance. We also know that in each of these types of assistance, you may be going to different agencies as the front door. There's the time frames of when they stop and start. And what we want to be able to provide is the state to have some assistance to help families navigate, to look at that long run time period when additional assistance may run out, when we're going to be hitting new benefit cliffs, and to provide some changes to our policies and the way we offer benefits to families so that we are smoothing out those cliffs and ensuring that we're not creating additional economic hardships for families as we get to the end of these enhanced benefit timeframes. So more work to be done, and we really want you all to be a part of our efforts in helping to ensure we can provide more economic stability and security for families, change those entrenched child poverty numbers in Virginia, and make sure that all kids are able to learn and thrive and grow. You can reach out to us. Our emails are here. Me, Katie, and Chloe have provided the details around the new enhanced benefits. If you have any questions on what was presented today, email us and we'll be happy to help explain or navigate any additional questions you might have. Tiffany is our advocacy and engagement manager and interested to hear from families directly, from partners directly about any experiences with barriers or successes that we can help to lift up in our advocacy or identify as new ways to change policy. So thank you for listening today. We have all of these resources are available on our website, and you will include the link to share. You should post them on your social media. You should share them with families that you work with. And we appreciate the opportunity to get this information into more people's hands and get help to families in need. So thank you.